You get what you fucking deserve. That's the fucking title, by the way. Thank you very much, Rev. Before we continue, I wanna just make myself a bit smaller and in the middle here, so I'm not in the way, but you can still see what I'm doing. It's kind of cute how small I am. Anyway.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here.
Hello,
so today's
Rev.
situation can be best described in many different ways. How it started versus how it's going. You reap what you sow, or even the classic, you mess around and you find out. We're of course referring to a situation involving a VTuber who has a long history of going after other people's sponsorships, now losing a sponsorship themselves. Now, a lot of people will not feel sorry for you when that comes around to bite you. But anyways, we're talking about Anna Valence. This is someone we've talked about before, especially a few months ago, when they launched a life ruination campaign against the VTuber KIRSCHE. They are a journalist
and fucking failed! Fuck you for the win! Absolutely fucking nice.
Going after KIRSCHE, accusing them of all the ists and faux.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? For the attack? Oh, man.
They could think of while actively targeting her sponsorships in an attempt to get those sources of income removed from KIRSCHE. Now, today we're talking about a different sponsor, the one that Anna was trying to team up with, Waifu Wares. It's a smaller company. As you can see, they make all kinds of different VTuber and anime related merch.
I see.
Now, Anna, earlier yesterday, announced this on Twitter, saying, very proud to announce now an official
that didn't turn out well, huh?
With Waifu Wares UK, and use the code, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of people looked at this, and they started sharing many different things that Anna has posted over the years, and basically saying, do you want to work with this individual who also has a history of going after other people's sponsorships? A lot of the things people are sharing are things that are just open and available. Like, if you remember from the last time we talked about this individual, they have this audio clip that a lot of people, probably millions at this point, have heard of, where as a trans person, they share their fantasy about rounding up cis girls and then putting them into breeding facilities to abuse them over and over again. Now, I've seen a lot of this person's defenders saying, oh, it's just,
disgusting.
You know, it's rage bait, it's an edgy joke, or it's an edgy fantasy, whatever.
No. Calling this a rage bait is what's wrong with people. If someone tells you they're a bad fucking person, don't write them off as a good one. At the very least, have suspicions of them being a bad person. That's the minimum. This person is openly saying rape, right? And this is not fucking rage bait. Saying on the internet, I want to rape someone is not fucking rage bait. It is just disgusting.
But keep in mind, Anne is the same person who only in April of this year released an article trying to accuse VLore, the VTuber group, of catering to pedophiles because one of their VTubers has a lolly model. So clearly, they're trying to justify their own fantasies on one end, but trying to cancel other people over fictional content. Like, it's very, very inconsistent. And then we have this right here, which none of the supporters of Anna will ever address in any sort of a way. Back in 2020, during the heights of Fall Guys, they made an entire article documenting their experience with this game, where they rigged an adult toy on themselves in a way.
By the way, consent in games. Games should not have fucking consent forums for sexual activities. It's different if your boyfriend just dicks you down while you play a game. You're not involving other people in your sex unless you're in, like, open chat, right? That's the only thing where it'd be, like, very, very questionable at best. But it is non-excusable at this point. What are we even talking about, man? I should check that out later. Oh man, consent in games
that
is
would
just a
make it
wild
activate
sentence.
whenever they came into contact with other players.
Hold
would
on.
make it where they
Ref,
rigged
please.
an adult toy on themselves in a
Thank you.
way that would make it activate whenever they came into contact with other players. Now, right off of the bat, you're putting other players in a situation where they're not consenting to sexual activity, right? And you go a step further, this is Fall Guys, a game that has a very large child base of players. So you're not just putting random players into this disgusting situation, you're doing this to children as well. Now, of course, a lot of people are sharing these publicly available things.
Just a second. I'm gonna put a bun in the oven while my wife plays Cooking Mana. Again! You're not involving anyone else! That's completely okay! That is... As long as you keep it in the bedroom, everything's fine! You can even do it in your own kitchen! Not anyone else's kitchen, but your own kitchen, that's fine! You know, so long as you don't make people eat on it not after not cleaning, it's fine! But... you know.
To Waifu Wares early yesterday morning, and it seems like they made a decision very quickly. But during those hours, Anna made this tweet mocking someone, basically saying it's for stuff like that you lose journalism gigs and other future opportunities, where they dismissed that, saying no one in media actually cares about all the random Twitter nonsense that goes on here. People look at the crazy YouTube videos about me and immediately assume that I have crazy obsessive haters, not that I'm an evil and bad person. Understand?
That is the biggest cap I have ever seen. Openly saying you want breeding facilities of cis women and being able to just go onto the street and rape one without anyone batting an eye is not fucking normal. It's not someone would say a sane person would do or say, but okay.
This person went on a life ruination campaign for weeks and honestly for months at this point, trying to rip away sponsors from KIRSCHE, trying to cancel her, and doing this to other people as well. And you can see they're doing the classic tactic of dismissing all the criticism against them as crazy. It's all just crazy. There's no reason to check into it. But they claim no one cares about what happens around here. Well, apparently, Waifu Wares does. And in the hours after announcing their affiliate, Anna was let go. They say this: we would like to clarify that we are not affiliated with Anna Valens, and we're unaware of any past events or situations they may have been involved in. When reviewing potential participants, we base our checks on recent activity and profiles rather than conducting an extensive deep dive into historical matters. Now, if you look around, they would try to clarify what's going on here later, a couple hours after Waifu Wares' announcement, sharing that they were invited to join the collaboration program at 10:45 a.m. yesterday, and they were given a code to use, and people could get a discount from the website. Looking through Waifu Wares' various applications, they said they were an affiliate, so if they were an affiliate, they just had a code, basically. But it sounds like they were going to the next step, possibly getting some merch or whatever. But the way this company, a lot of smaller companies work, is basically you got to kind of do all the groundwork. You have to pay for your own arts. They're just manufacturing, whether it's a shaker or something, they're just putting it on there for you and then shipping it to people. So this is like a very kind of low grade sort of collaboration here, where it's really mostly on the person trying to work with the company, and the company's just kind of putting it all together. And looking through their application process, they pretty much, like they said, just check your main social media accounts, and they check like the most recent activity, which can lead to a lot of issues, as you can see.
Yeah.
But that's the framework we're working with today. And this tweet really kind of sums up how people are feeling about this largely, where it's like, You know, you went after people for a very long time trying to get their sponsors removed for so-called problematic behavior, and now it's turned around and happened to you. Going after sponsors is lame. I think everyone can agree on that when it comes to the overwhelming majority of matters. But if you're someone who engages in this practice, if you try to ruin people's sponsorships, nobody's going to bat an eye when it comes around and happens to you. And that's exactly what's going on here with this situation. I think it's very clear. Now we look to KIRSCHE, right? So this is someone who's been subjected to this life ruination campaign
by Kavyoshi, let's fucking
for a long
go.
time, and they must feel pretty validated because the articles on Vice made by Anna included stuff like this, not only making wild accusations and very uncharitable conclusions about KIRSCHE, calling them basically every ist and phobe.
Meet KIRSCHE Verstal. One of her fans is a bona fide Nazi. Because they owned a book with the cross on it. The Nazi cross thing, right? The swastika. Which, it could be just a historical book with a fancy cover. And Nazis is just one big part of history. We don't know what the books entail. I don't know what the books entail. Let me correct that. I don't know what the books entail. So I could be talking out my ass right now. But depending on what's in the book, this will just make him a historian or someone who appreciates history. Right. So, and also, meet KIRSCHE Verstal. Her fan is this, but I like tying knots. No, seriously, one of her fans is a bona fide Nazi. How does that correlate to herself? Like, okay. I'm sure there's some white supremacist who like Trump. Does that make Trump a white supremacist? No. I'm sure there's some murderers liking, name any president in the past, I don't know. And does that make the president a murderer? No. I'm sure it... if you're an online person, there's some psychos that like you. Does that make you a psycho? No. So what's the point of this sentence here? I'm telling you right now. It's to obfuscate and put KIRSCHE in a bad light. That's it. That's all.
They also directly went after their sponsors, including Gamer Subs, for example. Even putting it in the title, framing this whole thing is basically Gamer Subs, why do you have this bigot in your midst? And why are you supporting them? And they're trying very hard. And you can see, even on Twitter, they constantly wipe their tweets or switch accounts, but...
I mentioned this on Blue Sky, I'll mention this on here. If you reach out to a creator or Gamer Subs, be polite, understanding, measured, and considerate. Do not yell at them. Do not randomly drop the topic in their Discord. Many streamers, creators cannot just cancel partnerships on a dime. Why? The terms of their partnership, management makes the decisions, the income gives them a home, food, pays bills, the potential for harassment and abuse. All those things apply to KIRSCHE as well, but you didn't care there. However, many creators will warn other creators about KIRSCHE's politics. Okay, that's... okay. Warning other people that KIRSCHE is a political streamer is one thing. But warning about KIRSCHE's politics is a bit different, right? Not everyone wants to have politics pushed in their face, and I get that. But this sentence is a little bit saying something a little different, right? Leverage connections with Gamer Subs for an answer. Consider moving away from the brand long term. She doesn't get passive income just from you buying Gamer Subs. She's not a shareholder. She's affiliated and she gets money through the link and her merch. She doesn't have a flavor, therefore she doesn't make money off of flavors. Yet, you're telling people to go away from gamer subs when all they do is just give almost any kind of person an affiliate link and code or whatever, right? That's cool. Yeah. You are shooting yourself in the foot if you're being aggro with a content creator. If you cannot speak to a creator calmly, diplomatically, and politely, then do not reach out. It's that simple. Oh, God.
They made a whole detailed guide, not just on Twitter, but on Blue Sky as well, showing people how to go after KIRSCHE's sponsors. I mean, this is like so blatant, where they say, you know, here's what you got to do. Even if you're a creator with gamer subs, for example, you have to go around and warn creators about KIRSCHE's politics, leverage connections with gamer subs for an answer, and consider moving away from the brand long term. So it's a very active effort. In fact, when that really wasn't working with gamer subs, they went the next step and they started trying to put pressure on gamer subs and to cancel KIRSCHE, not with KIRSCHE's own actions anymore, but the actions of people they view as a supporter of KIRSCHE. That's how desperate things got. And the obsession never ended because this went on for months. In fact, only 6 days ago, on August 5th, they made a long thread claiming that KIRSCHE's now been dropped by gamer subs.
I just... Bro, how long was it ago? Oh my God! On the 8th August, I made a gamer subs purchase and used code KIRSCHE for 10% off. On the 8th of August, I bought myself some Just Melon, some Good, and some AFK sleep support, banana berry bedtime story. Just bedtime, sorry. That shit's delicious, by the way. I can only tell you to get it. It is quite good, by Silver Veil, by the way. And this is so funny, because the fucking code still works. And
here's their proof, their supposed proof, saying, speaking of which,
idiot.
I noticed recently that KIRSCHE's gamer subs code isn't in her bio on Twitter anymore, and she seemed to focus more on promoting her other sponsors on social media. I don't believe she's posted a gamer subs promotion since May, which is odd for a partner. Well, as someone who also works with multiple sponsors, like, you tend to rotate.
Fuck Crime Boss Rocket City. Yes, you're absolutely right. Fuck them. For the type of game they have, they really kick the bucket, not gonna lie. Also, she does say in her streams multiple times, use code KIRSCHE for 10% off your gamer subs order. She's also said something about planning another merch drop maybe on gamer subs to get that flavor, which really fucking cool. I am excited for that flavor. I want to see what it's gonna be. I hope it's not straight up just pineapple. I hope it's not, because personally I could you know, I probably enjoy it, but not as much as the other flavors, and I want to have something that I can enjoy as well while I support my Oshi. Personally, I hope it's not, but we know what KIRSCHE likes. But yeah, oh man.
So going a couple months
my poor
without
wallet.
promoting something from a company is like not that big of a deal. But anyways, down here they say, I am living rent-free in her head. Main character syndrome. I don't think that's what's happening. Because she's just big mad, or is she upset because gamer stuff is...
She hasn't talked about you without you being brought up by someone else for so fucking long. There's no fucking way you think you have that much room in her fucking head. There's not enough room to know what she ate yesterday. How the fuck she gonna remember you? She only knows you by your nickname, Anal Violence, not even Anna Valens, yet you think you have some place in her head? Alright, bro. Alright. Fucking... Wow. All right, buddy. All right, pack it up. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Slowly and quietly removing her from its affiliate program, and she ultimately feels like she's lost her support. It's an open question. I still don't know. Something seems off. And they say all this stuff that her emblem was pulled and her promo posts have disappeared. And also they're retweeting fans about it. But anyways, but also they say down here, after saying, oh, well, the panel's gone from Twitch, but her code still works.
Yep.
I don't really think that's great proof that someone's sponsorship has been ripped away when their creator code still works. I don't know. But I think there's a very simple explanation for all of this. It's probably to protect gamer subs, just like probably a lot of people she works with, because maniacs will try to use that against her.
She openly said she's trying to put the connection in the dark, so people like Anna Valence that cannot do proper research don't know that they're still affiliated.
Her and try
That's
to go
kinda
after
funny.
the companies and relentlessly harass them and tag them in articles and tweets. Sound familiar? Well, that's exactly what's happening here. And if you keep going deeper, right, it's all just ridiculous. I mean, remember the time when this all happened with the Gamer Subs crusade? I mean, KIRSCHE was hit with real life threats where she had to literally leave her house, and that's always overlooked. But people focus so much.
She still lives in a bunker with a bunch of guys, friends, but guy friends, that, you know, just big burly men that, you know, have jobs like welding and construction. A shooting range. Fuck you, you fucking insect, by the way. So yeah. Still under threat. I'm going to a con next month. Hopefully I'll see KIRSCHE related stuff there. Oh, that'd be so fucking awesome. I hope you do, my guy. I hope you do.
Subs and what's going on here. I don't think a lot of people really understand.
I like fangirling with you about KIRSCHE. I like to do that.
And the depths all of this went, but someone's got to be feeling real cathartic about all of this. The person who's relentlessly targeting them over and over again picked a fight, started to lose, and then tried to play the victim over the past couple of months.
Hey man, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Goddamn, that's fast.
Yeah, let's fucking
Crazy.
go!
What you fucking deserve. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Imagine the life you could be living if you just hadn't tried to censor people and financially ruin them.
Oh,
no
wow.
one would care. Imagine.
So now let's return to
Imagine.
some more statements made by Anna regarding the situation. So as you can see, they're trying to do a spin. They're trying to spin the narrative where this was an amicable separating of the two parties, and that there's this harassment campaign going on where Anna's actually the victim once again. And you can see this post was made at 3:30 p.m.
Fox who
where they
wife
say
for
since
life.
A couple
Yeah!
folks asked, Waifu Wares was a bit alarmed by some of the hate sent our way. We talked and decided to end the partnership for the time being. Now,
No, Waifu Wares decided. That's what Anna herself said. She didn't have a choice in the matter. That's her own words in her own post. Don't try to obfuscate now that you regret. No. Waifu Wares broke off the connection. It was not done by both sides in an agreement.
of course, right around that time at 3:53, so just 23 minutes later, we start seeing posts like this, saying, there goes any interest in them, anyone currently partnered,
wow.
I suggest you reconsider your partnership, as they have shown that they'll kneel to anti-trans radicals.
Yeah, it's about
Yes,
being
they're once
trans,
again
not about
trying
being a
to
fucking creep.
label this situation as an act of transphobia or supporting anti-trans radicals. They know what they're doing here. There couldn't possibly be a legitimate reason to let go of someone like Anna. It must be because they're trans, according to individuals like this. And they go on further in their replies to say, why would I have an interest in a company either as a sponsor or a fan when it could be ripped away from me because people spammed 5-year-old rage bait to them. Now, it's not lost on me that individuals like Anna would gleefully use older tweets and posts by people like KIRSCHE, for example, to try to go after
Quote
their
of the
sponsors.
day. Success is a journey, not a fucking nation. Yup.
Things
True.
like that. But referring
Absolutely
to all
true.
this as rage bait is rich. Like, you think this is rage bait, by the way? The Fall Guys situation, do you think that's simply rage bait? No, I think any reasonable person looks at this and understands how disgusting this was. This was not just rage bait. It put
Yep.
children in a situation where Anna was using these adult toys that were rigged to get satisfaction off of interacting with their characters. If you don't see how disturbing that is and you think it's just rage bait, I'm concerned about you. But of course, we have other people coming out.
But they call Rev a fucking pedophile. I almost gave my ID to YouTube, then I remembered me having Gmod. Or Source Filmmaker. Just go to Source Filmmaker. Put on heavy with a beard. You'll be fine.
Trying to
You'll be
dispute this whole
fine.
transphobia narrative that's being spread, where this VTuber said, I've worked with Waifu Wares and I've had nothing but the best experience. There are less than 5 staff in that company managing 100 plus talents in their cups. They work with several trans creators and have a very LGBTQ plus friendly Discord. Please support them. Now, of course, people who are trying to run with this narrative, they'll ignore an actual experience shared by someone who's worked with the company and will instead try to infer the reasons why they let go of this partnership. But there's a lot more irony coming out from people who are closely...
Oh god, not Nyara, please. I've seen so many of their dumb takes, man. Don't like it when people go after your partners. Maybe you shouldn't have gone after KIRSCHE's sponsor. Maybe you and Anna will fuck off already. You dropped her because you got pressured by a bunch of transphobic... Of course, transphobic, because you can't do anything wrong, right? It's not your actions that are disgusting. It is obviously your identity that is disgusting, right? Sus, cat girl, cat guy. People who wanted to retaliate against her for coming after KIRSCHE.
associated with Anna, this Nyara individual...
Salty? You don't want that.
To Waifu Wares just 8 minutes after that first, or the most latest post we saw from Anna saying, you dropped her because you got pressured by a bunch of transphobic people who wanted to retaliate against her for coming after, in quotes, KIRSCHE. F you. Well, I definitely consider making multiple articles and tagging sponsors and trying to engage in life ruination is, in fact, coming after KIRSCHE. If you think that is somehow not a big deal, I don't know what to tell you, but you start looking at people who are sharing stuff like this. Here's another one. A now deleted quote saying, I'd love to see what they found except for that 5-year-old breeding farm rage bait post that transphobes over and over again.
How about the butt plug that was connected to a game with minors in it who are non-consensually participating in their fucking kink? How about that?
Used to
Asshole.
slander her. And of
Holy
course,
fucking shit.
Is this also rage bait? It
Yeah.
seems like it's not just the breeding facilities.
Fucking
audio
rage
that
bait,
some
yeah,
people
for
are
sure.
paying attention
Fucking
to.
asshole.
Please explain why this is not something that is significant or to be paid attention.
Bro, rage bait is the new, hey, it's just a joke, it's just a prank. Rage bait is the new just a prank, bro. What the fuck?
To.
It is not just a prank. It is not just rage bait. Stop thinking your actions have no consequences. God damn! So salty. Ha ha ha! Stop
But of
that!
course, you see the kind of
You're gonna
individuals
make me
saying
act
this
up.
stuff. The irony is palpable. This was made back in March when they're referring to the whole thing going on with KIRSCHE, saying, why is it bad to let a sponsor know what their partners are saying? Well, that seems a bit hypocritical. So we can't talk about the breeding facilities. We can't talk about the Fall Guys article. But when it comes to KIRSCHE, it's open season. Anything they say, well, we should let the sponsors know. And of course, looking further, you can see how they gleefully responded to that thread on August 5th, where Anna claimed KIRSCHE lost her Gamer Subs sponsorship. You can see Nyara saying, I thought she was making bank, referring to KIRSCHE claiming she made over $160,000 from her Gamer Subs merch.
Hell,
and then you got Anna saying,
huh? This did not happen. Bro, 160K, and it didn't happen.
All that while deep down knowing it was over is crazy, a very wild assumption. And then they interact saying total Foxu victory.
They're gonna be so mad when the second merch drop drops. Holy shit.
Complete succubus success. So gleefully sharing their excitement about KIRSCHE losing sponsorships. But all of a sudden now, if this happens back to Anna, it's totally unfair. It's transphobic.
It's transphobic.
It's giving into the mob. The irony is through the roof.
God,
but of course, there's been a lot going on with the Waifu Wares account. You can see they went private around this time, and don't harass this company. I think there's someone who don't have enough measures in place in terms of filtering who they're allowing into their programs. I don't think that's anything too unique, but of course that's the way they have it set up. But hopefully they learn something from this experience and dig a little deeper on who they're working with.
Yes.
But there's one last long post from Anna saying, I hope we can all agree that Waifu Wares, what they went through today was completely unacceptable. No company should face a harassment campaign of such nature. If you must target someone, target me, not them. Many unrelated creators can and will be affected by such measures. What a savior complex right here. The decision to end the partnership was one that WW suggested and I agreed to in order to protect the company and its creators. I do not believe other VTubers and businesses in the English VTubing scene should have to suffer because of my harassers. I hope it is seen as a sign that there is much work to do with overcoming harassment campaigns in the English VTubing scene. I will admit today's circumstances were less than ideal and things could have been handled better, but Waifu Wares did not make any decisions under ill will. Small companies, not necessarily clued into everything that happens in VTubing, and in the end, Waifu Wares has every right to decide yay or nay on brand fits. I wish the team the best, as well as all the VTubers that work with them. Yes, definitely playing the role of the victim here. Very different tone when it comes to how they lost a sponsorship versus how they view others should lose sponsorships for their so-called problematic behavior. But you can see they're trying to be the hero here, basically saying they're taking one on the chin for Waifu Wares. But in reality, we can see the people they associate with openly accusing the company of transphobia, making this narrative that they fired people to fulfill the desires of these anti-trans radicals, that this is an unfair decision, when in reality, they're also trying to say, well, they're a company, they can do whatever they want. I don't know. It just seems like a giant mess, and they're trying to shine this in a light way, but it's not looking too great overall. Classic effing around and finding out. You want to go after people's sponsorships, you can't really complain when it comes back and happens to you. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
You get what you fucking deserve! When are you gonna learn that your actions have consequences? This was... check out fucking Ref Says Desu. Genius guy at reporting shit. Honestly, very, very cool. We like him on his channel most of the time anyway. Yeah. Leave a like, subscribe on Rev and me. Thank you very much. Bye bye. More spiders. No!